What is going on, guys? If you watched yesterday's video, you know that we unboxed a whole bunch of NRG goodies along with a DIY $3 hole patch hack job. It is what it is. But today we're going to be installing some seats. And when I first started talking about doing this build, I talked about things that were important, things that you actually need to spend money on to have a car with good drivability, reliability, and safety. And bucket seats are a huge one. Bucket seats and harnesses. Now, the bucket seat is important because you can feel the car more. You're not going to be moving around. You can focus on driving. All very important things. Forward and side bite in a car, you can usually measure by weight on your hips. So if you're feeling your hips while in drift, you're feeling weight on your hips, trying to push your hips into the seat, that's side bite. If you're not feeling any resistance on your hips while drifting sideways, your car has no side bite. If you're driving straight and the car has a lot of bite, you'll feel your hips push back into the seat or in your butt. If your car's slow, then you're not going to feel that. So a bucket seat just helps you feel a lot more of what's going on with the car, and also keeps you in place so that you have full control over the controls, the pedals, the steering wheel, the handbrake, the shifter, all those things. You don't have to worry about trying to hold your butt in the seat. And then also when running harnesses the correct way, which we cannot run them the correct way right now because we don't have a cage in the car or a harness bar. So I'm probably not even going to put the harnesses in right now because I don't want you guys to do it this way where you mount them to the floor or the back seat real low. That's dangerous. It pulls down on your shoulders and it can break your neck, or break your back, I should say, not your neck. Seats look great. I went with a FIA seat for the driver with a halo. I'm real used to driving with a halo seat because the S14. I sat in it, I fit great. This is your guys' seat for when you come and get a ride in my car. A lot of you guys have ridden in my car. I've given fucking hundreds, maybe thousands of ride-alongs since I've been drifting and doing YouTube. So this is going to be your guys' new seat. I got the passenger seat a little bit bigger, so if you're a little wider, you should be able to fit. The other stuff that we picked up, I guess I'll just go over this again. I just did this. But steering wheel. It's a 350 mil suede. Same one I ran in the S14. Love it. We got some harnesses, and then SFI approved quick release, which, there we go, it's like that, and a race hub. And I talked about the race hub in the last video, but in case you missed it, the reason you run a race hub, the reason I run a race hub is because it moves the steering wheel forward towards the dash about an inch. So when you're short, with short legs, and you've got a quick release, a hub, and a steering wheel that's deep dish, it's going to bring the steering wheel really close to your chest, and it's very uncomfortable. So this is going to bring it back out, give you that nice driving position that's comfortable, that you can sit and be comfortable for 8 hours of driving or whatever. So steering wheel, seats. We're going to start with the driver's seat and the steering wheel, and then if we have time, we're going to go over to the passenger seat. All right, driver's seat's coming out. It's just 4 14 mil bolts, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. We'll get this out and we'll figure out which seat brackets we're going to use to go with our new NRG seat. We're going to reuse this hardware from the stock seat, and I think I'm going to leave the carpet in. I think I'm going to leave the carpet in for a little bit. This car will be getting a cage before Grid Life, and when we do that, all the stuff's got to come out anyway, so we can rip the carpet out then. But since I drive this thing around on the street now, that way me and Raven will use the Tahoe, I use this sometimes. It has AC, it's comfortable. I don't see why I would take the carpet out right now. I'm really excited to get rid of the stock steering wheel. I fucking hate that thing. We've got a sensor right here. Adam. unplug. Go. Stock seat out. I'm filming, what's up? All right. Just like that, we've got our driver's seat set up. The Z is weird. I sat in the seat, my foot can barely push in the clutch, but the steering wheel, the factory steering wheel, is still pretty close to me. And it's kind of impeding on where my handbrake's gonna go, but I think it's gonna be all right. All right, so the seat looks good. Looks really good, actually. I am gonna move on to the steering wheel. Alright, so when doing this job, you're supposed to have a Torx bit that's a safety Torx, and I don't have one of those, so I'm using vice grips. And it's these bolts on the side here. So this works. I really didn't want to go out and buy a set of safety Torx bits because I never would use them. Alright, so inside here we got an airbag and the battery's disconnected. Make sure that you disconnect the battery when doing this, or else there's a possibility that you will set it off. Boom, like that. And then this one. Airbag out. Then, just like your average 240 or whatever, you're going to have a big 19 mil nut on the steering shaft that will need to come off. So I have a big 19. Looks like I might need an extension. Yeah, to do this right, I'm gonna need an extension. And usually this thing is really, really tight. Ah, not that tight though. Fucking too strong. So I remember the first time I ever installed an NRG quick release. It was about 5 or so years ago, maybe longer. And I made the fatal mistake of taking the nut all the way off, and I was beating on the steering wheel to get it off. And I'm fucking yanking, and it popped off and hit me in the face and gave me a bloody nose. That was before vlogging, before I was doing vlogging, so nobody got to see it. So sometimes you just gotta. There we go. It's off. Take our nut off. Like so. And when I'm talking about you know, why would you get an aftermarket steering wheel? Why do you need an aftermarket steering wheel? The truth is, It's a modification that, depending on the factory steering wheel, will be nice. Some steering wheels have a big, almost like a big dish, and there's not a lot of places to catch the wheel. When running an aftermarket steering wheel, especially a dished one, there's a lot more places to catch the wheel comfortably. Like if you caught the wheel here, there's just really nowhere to grip it good. So these things are heavy, the airbag's heavy. All of it, in my opinion, is a good upgrade. So that's why we're doing it. Alright, so the wheels are straight. I have my NRG short hub, and I'm just going to slide this on. Usually it goes a little easier than that. Sometimes you got to put a little grease on it, so I'm going to go grab a little dollop of grease. Throw some grease in the hub. Just want to get it started, and then once we know it's on the splines, we can, there we go. So that's on there. Now we've got our race hub on. I thought it wasn't going on all the way, and I called Chris from NRG, and he told me it's good. So we got that on. We got that tight down to right around 40 to 60 foot-pounds ish. We got a new steering wheel here with some hardware and our quick release. So we're gonna, this is what the fabric is on here. I'm gonna throw this quick release on to the wheel and then put it in the car, feel her out. This isn't very exciting to watch. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing, to be honest. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this thing on there in the car, and then the wheels are straight, so I can, you know, kind of roughly line it up with the wheels straight. So let's go back over to the car. All right. Okay. That's on. Here's our steering wheel location. Piece of hardware up in this bitch. Around the bottom here. Hold it straight. Damn, this got me excited. I'm excited. Sick. Now, let's see if my tack is officially broken, because right now that happened. I don't know why. I also don't know where my keys are. There they are. So let's see here. Sick. Super sick. Well, that is going to do it for this video. A little bit shorter, but got some stuff done. The passenger seat I'm going to wait on. The reason being, Raven does drive in this car with me, and the passenger seat is pretty comfortable and it's in really good shape. So I'm just gonna leave it right now, tuck this away. The harnesses are gonna have to wait to go in. Tomorrow, we're gonna be installing the handbrake. And when I say we, I mean me and all of you guys on this channel. So, also, can't decide if I want to take out all this plastic or not. These compartments up here are pretty handy. So, I don't know. Shit. I haven't made up my mind yet on that. So yeah, we'll see. I think the interior is starting to look really good. With the addition of a handbrake, it's really going to bring this all together and give us, I don't know, what we need to do drifting stuff. Also, don't know if you guys know about this, but I've disabled all of the ABS and traction control stuff on this car, and it will do donuts and it'll slide around, but it will not do a standing burnout. And I thought that was really weird. And according to most people on the internet, all you have to do is disable the traction control stuff and you should be fine. And then I talked to another friend who said that you need to de-pin the ECU. There's a wire that needs to be pulled in order to be able to do burnouts. So, don't know when I'm going to do that. Probably tomorrow. Do that tomorrow. And actually, I work tomorrow. We're doing that Wednesday. And hopefully be able to do burnouts, because burnouts are cool.